Chief of Army Staff, Lagbaja, assures Nigerians of victory against insurgency. Again, police invite NLC President Ajaero, Secretary. Flood wreaks havoc, destroys residential buildings. Away from Nigeria, United States military says ISIL fighters killed in Iraqi forces. Good afternoon and welcome to the news update on Trust Television. I am Aisha Salihu. The news in detail. The Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Tarid Lagbaja, challenges facing the country. Lagbaja gave during the closing ceremony of the Chief of Army Staff Combined Second and Third Quarters Conference 2024 on Thursday in Uyo, Akwa Ibom. The conference allowed participants to appraise the conduct of ongoing Nigerian Army operations, trainings, and other activities in executing its constitutional mandate. It also provided an opportunity to make strategic projections for the fourth quarter and comprehensively review the counter-insurgency operations, anti-banditry efforts, and other critical operations across the country. While speaking at the closing ceremony of the conference, the Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Tarid Lagbaja, assured that the Army was on the path to victory against insecurity in the country. According to him, the reassurance was based on the security briefings he received from different Army formations and commands across the country. Lagbaja, at the beginning of the conference, had assured Nigerians that the Army would not succumb to calls by some powerful interest blocs to disrupt democratic governance in the country. Still on security matters, the Katsina State Police Command on Friday announced that it has arrested 3 suspected notorious gun runners and recovered a cache of live ammunition along Dutsima town in the state. Their arrest, according to the command spokesman, ASP Abubakar Sadiq, was part of the significant breakthrough in its fight against armed banditry and gun running. Sadiq said the suspects were apprehended on Thursday while attempting to deliver 740 rounds of live 7.62mm ammunition to suspected armed bandits in Yoni Forest, Umadel village in Savannah local government area of the state. ASP Sadiq, at a press briefing held at the command headquarters Katsina, said preliminary investigation revealed that the suspects received the ammunition from Nasarawa State to deliver to one Harisu, a suspected notorious armed bandits kingpin currently at large, while noting that the trio has confessed to their involvement and implicated Harisu as the mastermind. The command said it is working to apprehend more suspects and bring them to justice. In a related development, the command said it has arrested 3 suspects in connection with the suspected case of armed robbery at Bahrain local government area of the state. The Nigeria Police Force has again invited the President of the Nigeria Labour Congress, Joe Ajaero. Also invited along with Ajaero is the Secretary General of the Union, Emmanuel Ogboaja. The invitation letter is dated August 28, 2024, and a day before Joe Ajaero honored the earlier invitation at the force headquarters Abuja. The letter signed by CP Rufus Alajide for Deputy Inspector General of Police, Force Intelligence Department, said the latest invitation is in furtherance of investigation into alleged criminal intimidation, malicious damage to properties, and conducts likely to cause breach of public peace. And to health matters, the Joint Association of Medical and Health Workers Union in Yobe State has suspended the strike action embarked upon on Friday after reaching an agreement with Yobe State government. The workers had embarked on the strike to demand the implementation of hazard allowances of its members, which was approved in 2019, but only few unions are currently enjoying it. Chairman of the Medical and Health Workers Union in the state, Satomi Hikama, said the Deputy Governor, Idi Barde Cubana, after meeting with the leadership of the associations, signed an agreement to effect payment of the allowances by September 2024. Meanwhile, Governor Mai Malabuni, in a statement signed by his deputy, Idi Barde Cubana, asked the workers to resume work, assuring them that the hazard allowances would be paid by September 2024. Unions that embarked on the strike action include Association of Resident Doctors, Association of Medical Laboratory Scientists of Nigeria, National Association of Nigerian Nurses and Midwifery, Medical and Health Workers Union, Nigeria Society of Physiotherapists, Association of Radiographers of Nigeria, among others. Still in health, the Ogun State branch of the Nigerian Medical Association on Friday said it has suspended its 25-day strike action for 4 weeks to allow for peaceful dialogue and deliberation with government. NMA chairman in the state, Dr. Ogunjimi Lukman, made this known while speaking with newsmen shortly after an emergency general meeting of the association held in Abeokuta. Lukman, who acknowledged the hardship caused to residents due to the government's failure to respond to doctors' demands, urged government yet again to maximize the opportunity for dialogue and do the right thing at the right time. The NMA chairman also said the issues brought forward are germane and should be treated with utmost seriousness.
After extensive discussion and deliberation, the Congress resolved as follows: that to suspend the ongoing strike action for 4 weeks to allow for peaceful dialogue and deliberation with government and considering the hardship faced by the public. Members are to resume duty 8 a.m. on Monday, 2nd September 2024. The government of Ogun State is urged to meet the association's demand during this 4-week suspension to avert further industrial disharmony.
In a significant move to strengthen the healthcare system in Jigawa State, 3 health and technology schools have been upgraded to schools of nursing and midwifery. This initiative aims to increase the number of qualified nurses and midwives in the state, addressing both local and national healthcare needs. The report.
This development was disclosed by Farouk Abubakar, the Registrar of Nursing and Midwifery Council of Nigeria, during a visit to Jigawa Government House in Dutse. The accreditation of these schools located in Hadeja, Jahun and Babura local government areas aligns with Governor Umar Namadi's 12-point agenda, which emphasizes the improvement of the health sector and the well-being of Jigawa's residents. According to Abubakar, the addition of these institutions will significantly boost Nigerians' healthcare workforce, adding approximately 42,000 nurses and midwives to the national pool, thereby enhancing service delivery across the country.
Jigawa is one of the few states with a single articulated collegiate system with 3 independent campuses. Under each of these campuses is a key in to produce polyvalent nurses and midwives. Our presence in the state, Your Excellency, is to attest what your government has so much invested. And in order to accredit these institutions, the first one, the Birnin Kuru, which are the pioneer College of Nursing in the state, has added on accreditations over the increased quota, and they are doing perfectly well.
In Jigawa State, human resource for health is very, very important. And we are making deliberate effort to ensure that we have provided adequate human resource for health in all our health facilities. So far, we are able to attain the presidential mandate of having 1 primary health care per ward. This is a huge task in terms of providing manpower.
The Nursing and Midwifery Council highlighted that these newly accredited schools will prioritize the admission of students from remote communities from within Jigawa State. Students will receive their education at no cost and are expected to return to serve in their communities upon graduation, ensuring that most underserved areas benefit from this initiative.
The Nigeria Center for Disease Control and Prevention says children between the ages of 0 to 5 years old were mostly affected by the Mpox disease outbreak in the country. This was revealed in a statement by the center on Friday. According to the NCDC, out of the 48 confirmed cases of Mpox recorded this year in Nigeria, the most affected age group is children between 0 to 5 years old. Mpox is said to spread easily through contact with infected persons or contaminated materials. In an update report on the disease, NCDC said during reporting week 34 of August 19 to 25, 8 new confirmed cases were recorded across 5 states, bringing the total number of confirmed cases in 2024 to 48. 20 states, including the FCT, have recorded at least one confirmed case across 35 local government areas in 2024. Nigerians have been experiencing economic hardship since President Tinubu assumed office on May 29, 2023. Government policies have affected the standard of living of every Nigerian. The report.
The rising cost of living in Nigeria is becoming increasingly unbearable for many citizens. The hardship was triggered by government ongoing economic reforms, which federal government said is necessary to reposition the country for growth. Nigerians are however worried that the reforms has rather made their living conditions worse.
The price of things are very, very expensive. If you ask them, they will say it's fuel. Even this crayfish that we are selling before, this one we are buying it at the rate of 50k. But now it's 70,000, 75,000. So at least if you bought it like this, it's very expensive. The way we will sell it, people are lamenting. At times people don't know what to do. They cannot even buy it. So everything is just standstill.
I will sell us at rate of 14,000. As things goes, we sell it at rate of 15, 16. Gradual by gradual, rice now have gone up at least 72,000, 85,000, 80,000. It depends the type of the quality of rice you want. And they are telling us that our market is cheap. And
generally from here to Berger, it used to be 150, 200 naira. But presently it's 500 naira due to the increment of price and scarcity of the fuel. So it is not easy. Like the way before, it used to be 200 naira initially, but presently it's 1,000.
The rising cost of cooking gas is another burden on citizens, which they said is contributing to the overall increase in the cost of living.
It's choking us because in those days we pay 1,115 per month with a charge prepaid, but now to 5,000 naira per month. In fact, I don't know what to say. I don't know where we are heading to. Everything is totally down.
Gas is affecting Nigerians. Last time I bought gas, that was 1,350. It's choking Nigerians. I just want to use this opportunity to beg federal government to do something about the gas issue so that the Nigerians can be able to breathe a lot. Let Nigerians breathe in the gas issue because 1,350 is too much.
These price hikes have sparked widespread debate and concern, with many Nigerians still struggling to cope with the rising cost of living. While the government's economic reforms may be intended to address these long-term issues, the immediate effects are being felt by ordinary.
Former Kaduna State Governor Nasir El-Rufai took to his official X handle over the weekend personal thoughts on what he termed envy among Nigeria's political class. His lamentation follows allegations of corruption and misappropriation of government funds during his 8 years as governor of Kaduna State. The Kaduna State House of Assembly had claimed that his 8-year administration allegedly siphoned 432 billion naira, leaving the state with huge debt liabilities. The chairman of the ad hoc committee investigating the ex-governor, Henry Zakaria, said most of the loans obtained under El-Rufai's administration were not used for the purpose for which they were obtained, while in some cases, due process was not followed in securing the loans. The Speaker of the Assembly, Yusuf Liman, also said a total of 423 billion naira was allegedly siphoned by El-Rufai's administration, leaving the state with huge liabilities. The committee therefore recommended the investigation and prosecution of El-Rufai and some members of his cabinet by security and anti-corruption agencies for alleged abuse of office, diversion of public funds, and money laundering. And to other stories, the National Emergency Management Agency says flooding has displaced no fewer than 3,633 people from 5 communities in Zango Kataf local government area of Kaduna State. The NEMA Northwest Zonal Coordinator, Imam Garki, who made this known in an interview on Friday in Kaduna State, said the flooding that occurred on August 25 affected Fadan Soho, Zonzong, Zangon Kataf, Ongwan Wakili, and Zonkwa communities. He said the agency, in collaboration with the Kaduna State Emergency Management Agency assessment team, discovered that the affected victims had taken refuge with relatives in neighboring villages. Garki also said household properties were damaged while some houses were submerged. Still on the devastating effects of the flood, thousands of people have been rendered homeless following heavy rainfall that destroyed many houses and farmlands in Gusau, the Zamfara state capital. The flood, which started on Friday morning, destroyed several houses behind the state police commissioner's residence, making it impossible for residents to save their valuable properties. At Angwer-Denture, near the government house, the situation was pitiful as children were seen swimming in the flood and properties worth millions of naira destroyed. The situation attracted many people to the scene, with residents left perplexed with the ugly incident. It was also gathered thought the secretariat of the Nigeria Labour Congress in Gusau was seriously affected by the flood. Several places in Gusau were also affected, as many motorists and motorcycle riders were unable to navigate the flood, with some turning back. Also, flooding has claimed 7 more lives in the Madagali Council area of Adamawa State, bringing the death toll to 13. Gibson Swadego reports that the relentless heavy downpours continue to devastate homes, leading to further displacement. The report.
Non-stop rains for over 3 days have wreaked havoc in Madagali, claimed 7 more lives and raising the death toll to 13. Homes near the riverbank have been washed away, and those still standing are barely holding on, reduced to fragile skeletons of what they once were.
Because yesterday we experienced a heavy downpour where has resulted to the new flood. About 7 people were dead, 5 in Palam, while 2 in Madagali. So yesterday in the night, we received new arrival of IDPs where we accommodate them here. Now we are planning to see how we can establish that camp of GSS.
While some families grieved the loss of loved ones, others are already facing the doubting task of rebuilding their lives.
What you're seeing is what is left of the family of Aisha. And what is very paramount to them at this moment is how to rebuild this place and pick up the pieces of their lives.
Aisha Adamu, 63, lives in Shua, far from the riverbanks, but the powerful floodwaters still reached her home, leaving her homeless. Now she gathers whatever belongings she can find, hoping and praying for a kind soul to help her rebuild, no matter how modest the assistance may be.
All I have are my kids, and none among them is living an average life to assist me. I have lost almost everything to the flood and don't know where to stand and start.
Aisha's plight echoes the experience of many flood victims in this community, who, amid Nigeria's economic struggles, are pleading for help. They describe the flood's destruction as wiping out their lifetime investment, leaving them devastated in an urgent need of assistance.
So honestly, they cannot get back to their houses. They don't have the capacity. So I request the government, if possible, to intervene by way of assistance, both the federal government and the state government.
Now we are in an emergency situation, so we need a permanent resettlement of these people, especially those that are within the river bank.
Across Adamawa North, communities are picking up the pieces of their lives as they try to recover from the devastating impact of the floods. From Madagali in Adamawa State, Gibson Suadugu, Trust TV News.
In business, the Naira lost 30 Naira and 28 Naira.48 kobo at the parallel and official foreign exchange markets in the last week amid the Central Bank of Nigeria's retail Dutch auction system. This comes as the Naira depreciated to 1,645 Naira against the dollar on Friday, compared to the 1,615 Naira exchange rate recorded last week on Friday. Similarly, FMDQ data, which records official foreign market trading, showed that the Naira dropped from 1,598 Naira.56 kobo per dollar this Friday compared to 1,570 Naira.14 kobo exchanged last week, although the foreign exchange transaction turnover increased to $172.80 million on Friday from $155.52 million recorded on Thursday. The Naira failed to strengthen against the dollar in the last 7 days. The development comes after the retail Dutch auction system was reintroduced by CBN amid a dollar demand spike. And to developments away from Nigeria, the United States Central Command on Friday said a joint operation by American and Iraqi forces killed 15 members of the Islamic State group in western Iraq, with 7 U.S. troops injured during the operation. According to CENTCOM, the IS members were armed with numerous weapons, grenades, and explosive suicide belts. 5 United States troops were wounded during the raid and another 2 were injured in falls. A defense official said one of the wounded was evacuated for treatment, as was one of the personnel injured in a fall. All 7 were in stable condition, the official added. The operation comes as Baghdad and Washington have been engaged in months of talks over the presence of anti-terrorist coalition forces in Iraq. Despite Iraq's stated goal of a full withdrawal of the forces, no timeline has been made public. The United States has some 2,500 troops in Iraq and 900 in Syria as part of the international coalition against the Islamic State group. And finally, in sports, the Nigerian Football Federation says the appointment of Bruno Lagbaja as the head coach of the Super Eagles has been balked by stringent regulations of German tax authorities. The NFF said in the event technical director of Nigeria Football Federation, coach Augustine Eguavin, will now take charge of the Super Eagles for the upcoming 2025 Africa Cup of Nations qualifying matches against Benin Republic in Uyo on 7 September and Rwanda on 10 September. It will be Eguavin's fourth stint in charge of the three-time African champions after earlier experiences in 2005 to 2007, 2010 and 2022. And that brings us to the end of the news update on Trust Television at this hour. Do not forget, you can always follow us across all of our social media platforms and also join our YouTube live stream for more news, programs and documentaries. I am Aisha Salihu. Thank you so much for watching.